Hello, we are here, Darkness Emergent LA 2025,
Yes.
which is an important distinction now since we'll be back in LA for future Darkness Emergents.
I hope so.
But we're with Cynthia Marie, actor, dancer, performer, actual play, just extraordinaire, and as you probably, if you're watching this, know her as Nelli G as well.
Yay.
Now, last time we talked to you, we do a thing where I ask what someone would need if they wanted to summon you.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. We already know how to summon you, but what do you think we would need to summon Nelli G?
Oh,
With
gosh.
3 things.
Okay, great question. All right. Definitely any kind of Louis Vuittons.
Okay.
Probably a gorgeous perfume.
Okay.
And a beautiful set of knives or daggers or swords.
So, as I was saying, an expensive summoning circle,
Absolutely,
but
yes.
it should be appropriately difficult to summon Nelli G.
Yep.
So that makes sense. And since we're playing Nelli G for this event, I wanted to dive in a little bit more about, started as obviously a tabletop character, even though even LA by Night is almost a LARP-ish tabletop.
Yeah,
and
Jason
whatnot.
kind of described it the other day at a panel called a LARP top.
LARP top.
Yes.
I like that. So I think a lot of people, myself included, have just taken some of our tabletop characters and I think a good thing is to bring them to a LARP. That's a good starting
Yeah.
point. Is there anything, talk about the conception originally and what maybe has had to change, if anything? 'Cause like I said, you're playing a LARP top from
Yeah.
playing Nelli on the show to playing Nelli in person.
Sure. Well, first off, I have to apologize. I did blow my voice out like the top of the event, so I've been pushing through some hoarseness. So if you guys can't understand me, I apologize
Yeah.
up front.
We're having a lot of fun here. Sometimes
Yes.
that means we can't talk after, because we're a couple days into this now.
Yes, and the rooms are very big and echoey here, so trying to project can cause a little bit of strain here. So anyway, the inception of Nelli. Well, she originally was supposed to be a Toreador, a Tremere.
Yes.
And she kind of definitely came from the idea. Well, originally I wanted her to be kind of like an investigation type of person who gets wrapped up in this ghost story because Jason came to me with the idea of he wanted to tell a ghost story that had to do with the ghost of Petronella and her family and the rights of Griffith Park, as you kind of saw unfold in kind of the seasons. That was really like the major concept. So I originally was trying to toy with the idea of like, oh, maybe she's like a journalistic investigator kind of person, or like a blog writer that like does like ghost stories and kind of like gets wrapped up into that. But it kind of started becoming too convoluted. I couldn't figure out like how to like connect to the other players, right? Because we were starting to use code remap, just right when V5, like we were introducing V5.
Yeah.
And the idea of code remaps kind of evolved from that book. And so when I was trying to connect with the other players, like she just wasn't connecting. So like almost a week before the shooting of the first game, Jason comes to me. He's just like, "It's not working." I was like, "What? What do you mean?" Tried real hard, but he was right. He's like, "What if?" He goes, "What if we just made her a Toreador?" And the reason why I was kind of against being a Toreador is because at the time I was LARPing in another organization as a Toreador already. Everyone calls me a Toreador in real life, so I was just like, I want to do something different. I want to show versatility and stuff like that. But Jason, so smart. He was just like, play what you know right now. So okay. So we built the Toreador, and I kid you not, we built the Toreador in 30 minutes. We built Nelli's character sheet in 30 minutes.
Really?
Yes,
Oh,
which is unheard of because like how quickly V5, how hard it is to do V5 character sheets. 30 minutes.
It's very impressive.
Yeah. So from there, I had the dubious task of figuring out what does Nelli look like within a week, right? Because like we're shooting, and so having changed
now
her
you're
to
Toreador again, so that's very important suddenly.
Yes, and I will never forget this because it's like burnt in my mind. But he had given us dice boxes that had the clan symbols like and stuff like that. And I remember having gotten the Tremere one, and it didn't feel right. I was like, oh, this is cool. But so when we did the swap, and he gave me my Toreador one, I was like, this feels right. This is the right one. I'm supposed to have this one. So dubious task of like trying to figure out like what she looked like, what was her backstory. And I'll be honest with you, first season she didn't really have much of a backstory. Like I knew like different beats that I wanted to hit, but like everybody writes like 5-page backstory of like what this person is. So if you might have picked up on first season where some of the details might be a little fuzzy, is because I was like, I just made this character, like try to figure her out. So I started with looks because that's what I'm, most comfortable with. I was a cosplayer for some time, so I start with like how someone would look, so I can start kind of getting into their head and their demeanor and their mannerisms and stuff. And so I pulled from my favorite movie, Devil Wears Prada.
Yes.
Meryl Streep, of course, who is also doing, kind of a caricature of Anna Wintour. So kind of those two mixed with, and I think I mentioned this before, mixed with Evie from The Descendants. That's where you get the blue hair from.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was also a fashion designer, fashion like student and stuff like that. Regal queen, kind of misunderstood kind of character. So I was like, what if Evie like was older and like had an immortal life, So that's kind of where all that started coming from. So the evolution from going from a tabletop character, because I was already kind of LARPing that, right? Like we're already putting on the costumes, we were already doing the mannerisms. We rarely broke character. So it was kind of like in a LARP itself from here up. So to transition into playing her now, I think the biggest difference, not character sheet, because the character sheet's pretty much the same. I mean, a little bit more high power, right? Like, 4 or 5 years have passed, so she's clearly like gotten some more disciplines, and well, you don't want all the PCs trying to kill NPCs. So I had to build like maybe like a little bit heftier of a character sheet. But what I carried in those 4 or 5 years that have passed is actually like my experience as an adult, as growing up. As before with Nelli, when I first created her, right, like it was tragedy that I had built in her backstory and being able to emote and be the actor and all this kind of stuff. But now, having experienced tragedy in my life in the last 4 or 5 years, I've been able to carry the strength that I've pulled from those moments and give the levity that is necessary to bring Nelli back alive again. And also from a physical standpoint, like I gained weight, so like it's kind of like interesting to go back into the costumes and be like, oh wow, I filled this out a little bit differently. So yeah, it's cool to have more of a grounding, being the strong female-centric character there, with the experiences that I've had in the last 4 or 5 years with it.
That perfectly segues to a couple things. One, I recently did a video on how to make a LARP character, and you hit like all the things of because you said you did your character sheet in 30 minutes, and I was like, that's a scary thing with the LARP at first for me, and I was like, oh, obviously it's an important thing to do, but also they kind of help you here a lot with it. But you're like, and then I had figured out the look, which I'm like, that's what I do too, and I'm like, I think that's a really good place to start. It's like, because you're gonna be embodying your character.
Exactly.
Figure out how you're presenting and how you want to be interacted with, and then bring some of yourself into it. Because especially the LARP, you're improvising with couple hundred other improv people the whole time. So the more you have like a core that you're familiar with to draw from, the easier it is to kind of keep things going. And talked about sort of as you have a person change, obviously that you could bring that into the character. What parts of you do you think you put in Nelli G?
This time or on LA by Night?
Either.
So I'll start with LA by Night and how it kind of transitioned in. Man, this is gonna be funny. Did you already, you interviewed B-Dave already, right?
Yes.
So he usually says, he's like, Victor is me.
Yes.
Yeah, so same thing for me. Nelli is me, caveat, without a filter. So I very, very much, anytime I like went on set, I had to kind of like drop into character and be like, whatever's in your mind, just say it. Just say it, no filter, no filter. Like, just remember, like, just spit out the first thing that I was thinking about, right? So that's where a lot of my catty comments start to come from. Because like in my mind, I'll say stuff in my head. I'm like, Cynthia, you can't say that to people. Like, that's mean. Yeah. As Nelli, I let it come out and like just kind of like stabbed it in when I could, especially because like, having such big characters in LA by Night, like I found my struggle of like being able to speak up when I could. So I found those moments where I can kind of say those like one-liners and kind of like stick it. And that kind of became my MO for role-playing Nelli. Nelli became, right towards the end of the seasons or the end of the series, obviously a Baron of Hollywood, but she became this champion of women, this like stronghold for women, like always constantly want to protect them. And that always just came from innately in me, like I always like, being a feminine presence, I like want to bring women up and like, and and carry them along with me, right? Instead of trying to hold women down, which obviously in juxtaposition from the very beginning of season 1, where she killed someone, a woman, out of jealousy, right? Like that, as a young woman, that tends to happen, right? You have jealousy moments, but like as you age as a woman, you start to recognize that like media or whatever outside contacts pit women against each other for whatever reason, and it's hard, like it's really hard to kind of deal with. So as an older woman, I try to push that kind of stuff aside and try to help women up. So that's something I started bringing into Nelli in LARP now, is how do I help support strong women and make them feel empowered to act or be this character that they want to be. So last night, I don't know if you saw it, but I bought over a dozen blue roses, and I started off with handing it out to the people who were impeccably dressed, and then I kind of furthered went from there and kind of just like gave it to people that I thought were just like fucking killing it, pardon my language, killing it, or like at the very end, because I had a lot of roses.
Yes.
I got all of the Toreadors together, and I was just like, handing them to all the different women and men who were like just kind of like embodying their characters and being like, here. And so what I described to them with the rose, right, because I had my rose garden going on. I described to them, and I had them repeat this mantra. I was like, we represent the rose. We are beautiful to the sight, but we have a strong base, and if you fuck with us, we'll kill you. In reference to the thorns. And like, so all of them kind of like were repeating that with me and stuff, and so I handed them the rose. So like, it became this like symbol of strength. Like, so for Toreadors, like, you're usually like these like pretty ones, stuff like that, but I wanted people to show that like Toreadors are strong too. Like, we can fight, like we're in it to like win it as well for vampires. So yeah, I brought that kind of gravity from, like I said, I'm pushing 40. I'm gonna be 40 this year. So I wanted to bring that weight of an older woman to the younger generation, to say, hey, you can be just as strong too.
It's really cool. And also, Nelli is such a character like made for this, like a LARP.
Yeah.
Like you have like just,
Yeah.
I didn't know the blue rose thing. That's just something you decided to bring into
I did.
it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And I got you would see people walking around with the roses, and you talk to them like, oh, Nelli gave, like, it's just those cool little moments where there's a million plots and things happening,
Yes.
and to a lot of people, like, oh no, the most important thing that happened that night was Nelli G, right? Gave me this rose.
Oh my
and
gosh,
things like that.
really? That's
It was
amazing.
really
Because
cool.
like I can't thank the fans enough for like making LA by Night for what it is, and so that was my way, like Cynthia Marie, like wanting to thank people for engaging with us.
Yeah, it was really cool. And I was taking footage of the Meet the Authority, and you'd see it's like you and your entourage move through. You would stop and just like acknowledge someone, and then they would go, and I linger on them, and you could just see that like it was awesome. It was very cool.
Yes.
I didn't get a rose, but it's okay.
Sorry.
No, it was great. I
There's
asked for
more.
one, and you very politely just went, and then your entourage came to explain to me.
There are
It was
more roses.
so fun.
There are more roses to come tonight.
I should not have got one, but they gave me the what you talked about is like the Toreador and the strong bait. Like they gave me like a really good. I thought they were just gonna like dress me down of like, here's why you don't get a rose, and then explained like you need to actually embody this or pursue this. I was like, oh, this is actually like deeper than I thought. That was really cool.
Yes. You were impeccably dressed though. I will say, as Cynthia Marie, looking at your character, you did an amazing job. I really loved it. Kind of cowboy kind of look.
Cowboy and fringe.
Yeah, I was gonna say you had French too, right?
Lots
like,
of fringe.
I mean,
lots of fringe.
slay.
So not quite the Toreador or whatever, but
Not,
it was fun.
Not to lie, you were standing next to a man in a full sparkle suit.
Oh no, it was very fun to play off of that. I loved it. It was a really cool moment for me. But yeah, and just a lot of those interactions, I think, are really big for people. And you also there's an aura you have moving around. It's like there's the physical aura of your entourage is always with you, which is very Nelli G and very cool. But it's like you said, it's a protective bubble. It's a bubble to where like if you're not sure what's going on, it might be hard to push through. But once someone gets into that bubble, you can almost see it just immediately like fold into them.
Amazing.
And it gives the best of both worlds, where like you could see Nelli and her little court. It's like, oh, like don't approach, but then you see the people getting pulled in. It's like, oh, something cool's happening.
Yeah. Good.
And we have more to go.
Yes.
You have is a fashion show.
We have a fashion show.
I'm really looking forward to. That's
So,
such a fun idea.
I don't know if you know, but so a lot of people just are seeing it as like, oh, it's a Nosferatu fashion show. But if you've watched LA by Night, you would know that there has been a running joke / thing between Nelli and Gary Golden and Amalia, where he was like, give my child a fashion show. And Nelli's like, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Like, help me, and maybe. And so finally, in the last series, or like this season, Amalia actually does come to Nelli's aid in the like, So the first episode of season 5, all of us characters are all like spread out into like different scenarios where Jason basically brought us true believer hunters to try to kill us, right? And so in my situation, we got decimated pretty badly. Like our dice roll were not on the money. And so at like almost a last ditch effort, like it was actually brilliant. Like it's before we got shot up, but a brilliant move on Jason. He brought in Amalia, and she had been watching us and making sure we're okay. So when the shootout happened and I had no other where to turn because both of my ghouls are basically downed, Amalia pops up and goes, I have a place for you, come. Right, so that forged the friendship with Amalia, and then the rest of that season, I wanted to wear Amalia's outfits. Like I wanted to show like the growth of Nelli, like actually accepting that Nosferatu also, or any other clan has fashion sense as well. And so one of the bungee cord like shirts that I was wearing, I kept commenting that this was an Amalia original. So that being said, when I was approached to play Nelli for the event, the story team asked me, what is the one thing that it was kind of like unresolved in your character story? And I immediately was like, fashion show. Like,
that's so cool.
Never got to do it.
Yeah.
So tonight's gonna be that night.
Very excited for it. Any other words, advice for the people, or any Nelli G tidbits you want to share?
Oh, advice. Keep doing what you're doing. Enjoy every aspect of life. Don't let anyone tell you different. If you feel in your gut that that's the thing that you need to do, go do it. And there will always be somebody there to support you. From a Mom Tisha level, remember to drink your water, remember to eat properly, and if you don't, I will come find you and make sure that you do.
Another way to summon you, I guess.
Yes.
Just don't do what you're supposed to. And
Yes, Mom Tisha will come at you.
Amazing. Okay. Well, we got a lot more LARPing to do.
Yes, we do.
And recovering to do, as I'm sure you could hear. So thank you very much for this.
Thank you.
That's it for us. Bye.
Later.